I promise this is going to be the best LinkedIn outbound strategy video you will ever see, because we're not going over generic templates. We're not going over generic personalization like hey name or notice company name did this recently. That is all garbage. In this video, I'm going to be taking you through the strategy that just last week booked 5 calls from 122 LinkedIn DMs for our client. This strategy is proven to work. So let's get into that now. So this is my LinkedIn profile, and all you're really going to need for this strategy to work effectively is either Claude or ChatGPT, and I like Claude better because the writing is a little bit better. And you're just going to need a little bit of time because our process is a manual process. Now, I know there are automations in software to send DMs, to send connection requests. I don't like them because I've had clients in the past that have used them and they've gotten shadow banned. And that is not fun for us when we come in and say, hey, we're posting a lot, but none of your posts are getting any likes. And they're like, oh yeah, we used Hey Reach in the past. And then I'm like, okay, well, that's your problem. You can't use software. Like LinkedIn will ban that. Now, not everyone gets banned or not everyone gets shadow banned. So you can go ahead and use that, but just be warned that the reason that we do manual is because we don't want any of our clients to get banned. So first of all, what we are going to do here is you're going to go to LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Here we go. Let me just... Okay, so we are on LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So first thing you are going to do is you are going to go to lead filters here. And from here, we're going to start to qualify who specifically you are targeting. Now, with my clients, when I'm doing the done with you kind of process here, we are actually going to go on a call and kind of discuss who they're targeting, like industry. Are they targeting CEOs or founders? What region do they live in? Stuff like that. But for you, obviously, like you already know those things. So you can kind of just go right to Sales Navigator and begin the process. So first of all, we're going to go to company. So the only thing that kind of matters in here is company headcount. So if you are targeting brand new companies, you're going to be targeting 1 to 10 employees because they're new companies. They're most likely going to have less employees. And the bigger companies that have been around for 20 years are most likely going to have scaled and have bigger amounts of employees. So this is the easy way to kind of get a guess at what revenue they're at without actually having a revenue filter. So first of all, we're going to say our client is targeting companies that are in, let's just say, the $1 million range or making $1 million every single year up to like the $20 million range. So we're going to go with the 11 to 50. You can play with the 50 to 200, but we're just going to go with this for now. So let's continue down here and we are going to go to role. So current job title, this is the next one that we're going to go for. So our client was targeting founders. So we're going to make this easy and we're going to go for founders and co-founders. And now you can also add an owner, but for some reason when you add an owner, you're going to get a lot of businesses that are either local businesses or they just are like really old. And I'm not sure why this completely is, but a lot of maybe the older founders refer to themselves as owners. I don't know if that's just a business kind of trend that kind of went away and now it's founders and co-founders. But go for co-founders and founders if you're targeting kind of these leads of these businesses. Some other like higher executives that you can target are presidents, CEOs, sometimes CMOs. But yeah, for the most part, these are the people that I would target: founders, co-founders, and then you can kind of go from there if you're targeting people that might be a little more active on LinkedIn. Founders, for the most part, are still active on LinkedIn, though. Another thing that you can do here is post it on LinkedIn, and this is going to get you accounts that are more active. So if you have such a large market that you can target on LinkedIn, and for like right now, you can see I have 1 million results for these qualifications. Then I would probably click like post it on LinkedIn just so I get the best of the best. But if your market's a little bit smaller, I would just not click this. So for right now, we're not going to click this. No reason to. And then you're going to go down to here to geography. I will usually just do United States. It works the best. You know you're going to have people that are most likely going to have money. You can obviously do Europe. You can try other places as well. This is just the most condensed amount of like qualified leads in my opinion, unless you're targeting like brand new people or brand new businesses or companies. And then we're going to go down here to industry. Now, you have so many industries to choose from. So what I like to do is make sure that I'm only choosing one industry per list. I don't want to target advertising and marketing and insurance, for example. Like, that makes no sense because I'm going to just have a completely different list. I can't target my messaging as well. And yeah, the messaging is really what is going to convert people. So we gotta be as specific as possible. So first of all, let us target. Let's do recruiting. Recruiting is a big market on LinkedIn. So we're gonna target them. Click that, staffing and recruiting. Okay, so we have 2,000 people plus in the United States that are in the recruiting industry. They're founders or co-founders. They have a company headcount of 11 to 50. Now, I'm not a huge fan of only having 10,000 people or 2,000 people, simply because that is like 2 lists only that I can create. And a lot of these people might not be even qualified. So what I would probably do for the most part is target 51 to 200 for company headcount, and that's going to add another 1,000. So now instantly I have 3,000 people that I can target that are in my qualified guidelines. And this is exactly what we did for our client. We targeted super well. We created our first list. I think the first list that we created for him was actually software. And then he went away from that because he realized, hey, that's not exactly who I'm trying to target anymore. And he started booking more calls as well with that. But we actually booked quite a few calls using the software, which is typically a hard niche to tap into. Outside of that, obviously you can play with these things, but I've just never found in my experience that they help that much more in qualifying people or bringing in better leads or more leads even for that example. So now what you're going to do here, and this is the less fun part, but because I like to do the manual process, you have to add all these manually. So you're going to select all, you're going to save the list right here. You're going to create a new list. We'll just say recruiting is the list that we're calling it. I can't spell. There we go. And then we're going to save that. Okay, so those 25 people got added. Now we're just going to scroll down to the bottom, click page 2, select all, save the list, recruiting. Boom. So now we are adding all of these people to the list. And this is how we are going to further qualify them and actually send them connections, which is the next part of our strategy. So I'm not going to go through this all. You can obviously, like I said, use automations. But usually what I do or have my VA do is add all these people. They're welcome to, I've watched movies in the past even. I've listened to music, just anything like that just kind of distracts you and makes this enjoyable because this is such a low-end kind of process. But obviously it's very important because this is how you're going to be signing deals. So yeah, just get this done. I think my client did it and he said it took 15 to 20 minutes. For me, it takes just around that as well to get a list of 1,000 people. And with LinkedIn, you can send 800 connection requests. Like I was saying, this is the next part of our strategy, sending connection requests. So you can send 800 connection requests every single month, and that's maxing out. And obviously, you want to max out to have the maximum results. And obviously, some people won't be qualified, but usually a list of 1,000 will kind of get you through an entire month of reaching out to people, signing clients, booking calls, whatever. So that's how that usually works. Okay, so now to the next step of our process. I'm going to go to leads here. We're going to click the recruiting list here. And then what we're going to do to further qualify them, we're going to just kind of hover over the account, which is actually just their company name. And what we can see here is that, first of all, they have their company name. Second under that is they're in staffing and recruiting. Perfect. We targeted well. The sales navigator qualifier worked well, and it actually got the right niche that we were looking for, obviously. But sometimes they add in random niches or industries. Second of all, they're making $10 to $20 million a year. Awesome. We're targeting people that are making over $1 million a year. Now, maybe there's accounts that are making a little bit less than this. Okay, these are all really high. Maybe there's accounts that are making 500 to 100,000, or maybe this one right here doesn't have revenue. And maybe they're making under that. Here's an example right here, 5,000 to 1 million. We don't want to target them because we wanted companies that were making over 1 million. So we wouldn't send a connection request to them. But now for this Sharp Heads account, we would send them a connection request. Send them a connection. Boom. Send, invite. We just connected with them. As you can see, I actually already sent them a message before, but we haven't connected with them. So we're sending them a connection request. We are going to go through this entire list. Anyone that looks qualified according to this further qualification here is going to get sent a connection. Once they accept that connection, and the way I'll show this to you right now, the way that you can, okay, so the way that you can see if they've accepted the connection request is you're going to see a little button up here, maybe a little red dot occasionally, and it's going to, once you click on that, it is going to show you connections on the left side right here. So these are the invites that are people are sending me. But on this left side, connections is the people that you've actually connected with. So I've connected with all these people right here. And those are the people that I'm going to reach out to. So let's pretend I've connected with John Kopp right here. I've connected with him. He's accepted my connection request, obviously. And then we are going to DM him. So actually, I can't even DM him yet. I'll just accept this real quick to show you. So this is how it would look right here. And then you have this message button. And that is where you're going to paste in your initial message. So that is as far as kind of the strategy goes. Now, I am going to walk you through a little bit of the messaging that we use for our client that had just booked 5 calls. But I don't want to go too in depth on it because this is something that obviously he paid for. And this is what I do for Done With You and Done For You. So I can't give it fully away. I'm going to do my best to kind of give you an example of how this might look. And the sequences that we kind of use for this. Now, if you are interested in us doing this with you or doing it for you, there's a form down below that you can book a call with us and we can discuss going over this. I'm happy to help you guys. If you have any like smaller questions, just put a comment down below and I'll try to get to as best as possible within regards to obviously working with clients that are paying us money. So yeah, going to the messaging part now. The way I create messaging. So we're going to go to Claude for this actually. Okay, so now that we're on Claude, I've just pasted in this message that we had tried out a little bit ago that didn't really perform that well, but it's going to give you a decent example of kind of what I'm talking about. So, hey, we just helped a founder-led SEO agency sign multiple clients by handling their content and outbound on LinkedIn. Are you taking advantage of LinkedIn already? So now this wasn't very specific, and it didn't really like give enough proof that we were doing this, which is probably why it flopped. But going into this kind of strategy that we use, first of all, we are going to upload our avatar. And this probably is a word that you've not heard of in context to LinkedIn outbound and content. But what a content avatar is an AI created avatar of all the problems that your audience has, the solutions that you have, ways to position your content, messaging examples, all stuff like that based on you and your business. So what you need to do is you're going to go to Claude or to ChatGPT. This is better because ChatGPT has a voiceover like button that you can use, and you can just send it a massive voice note that it'll transcribe, and then you can paste that transcription back into Claude. But what you're going to put on that voice note is everything about yourself, who you're targeting, what you've helped clients with in the past, what you're looking to do, what deliverables you have, what prices you have, literally everything about yourself. And then you're going to copy and paste that transcript back into Claude and say, create me a super in-depth custom content avatar that I can use to create outbound messaging, content for myself, so that I can hit exactly on my clients' pain points and position my solution as the answer to those problems or pain points. This avatar is going to be amazing. You can use it for so many things, website copy even. That's what I just currently used it for. And this is what we did for our client. We created him an awesome custom avatar. Now, once we had created this custom avatar, we input, like I have here, another DM that had previously worked well. And then we had it create variations for our clients' specific industry, for the specific problems they solve, for the specific solution that they provide. So the prompt that I use for this, and I'm actually going to show you this right now. First of all, I'm going to upload my custom avatar. So give me 1 second here. Okay, so I just uploaded my avatar. I'm going to just zoom in maybe a little bit if you can see that. So like you can probably hardly even see this, but phase 1 is like the demographic foundation. So it's like talks about the age and the life stage that they're at, the location that they live, how much money they're bringing in per year, and then it goes into like professional identity, their job title, industry, and it just goes over super in depth. So like I was gonna say, I'm not gonna show you this super in depth because this is kind of a closed off thing for our clients, but I wanted to show you a little bit so you can kind of get an idea of how it might look. Or once you do this, I want to give you kind of a point to look at so that you understand that you're on the right path. So we enter that in. Now we are going to give it the prompt. So I want to create new outbound messaging for LinkedIn using the DM template I have below, except I want to change it to better fit my offer and client, I guess you could call it that, client avatar document I uploaded, and then I'm going to tell it to create me a few variations of this, a DM message. Okay, so that's what we're going to start with here. So Claude is not going to be perfect. I'm going to be honest with that. But it is going to give you so many good examples that you can use and just easily transition to your industry, and maybe you can add in a little bit of results if you need to, if Claude just didn't pick that up in your avatar. But it's going to give you awesome examples to kind of base it off of. Okay, so like first of all, I probably shouldn't have said template because it just gave me templates. So I'm going to tell it, no, use the client avatar to fill these templates in. There we go. So I'm actually going to go up and I'm just going to take a quick look at these. So first of all, like variation 1, the recognition gap. Okay, so hey name, notice you built an impressive company to revenue scale. So I wouldn't maybe lead with that. Hi name, saw your recent company milestone post. Congrats on the growth. Awesome. That's actually a good compliment because you noticed something that they just put out, and you can even use AI to find these posts. Like, hey AI, I'm looking for Apple's most recent like milestone company post on LinkedIn. Show me what it was, and then you can then you can reference that really easy. So that's a strong like personalized compliment. I don't even like personalized compliments that much. I just like getting right to the pitch because otherwise people are like, okay, well he's just kind of pitching, or he's kind of just like he's kind of trying to gaslight me a little bit just to like get me to respond to his pitch. So I like to start with just like, hey name, and then get right into the pitch. Like, are you finding it harder to attract A players because they're drawn to competitors with stronger LinkedIn thought leadership? Okay, that gets right into the pitch. And actually, I don't like, this is like a good example of kind of like that first like kind of question that we had in the first message, because it's actually like relevant. Like some people are like, yeah, I haven't been able to find any talent off of LinkedIn ever. Like, why are other people finding great talent, but I'm not able to? Like, it makes you start to think. And then like, it goes into like, okay, we've helped these founders do this, and find these A players, whatever. Let's go to the actual examples here. Okay, so this is, okay, it's actually fully filling it out. So like, hey Alex, notice you built an impressive SaaS company, $2 million ARR. Quick question, are you finding that competitors with less expertise are becoming the go-to voices in tech on LinkedIn while your superior product insights remain invisible? So this is maybe a little too wordy. I would tell it, be a little bit more human, write in the style of David Ogilvy, and write this for me. So that's gonna be a little bit better. Let's go down to here. Hey Christian, impressive what you built with Reed Global in logistics recruiting. Targeting $500,000 revenue is ambitious. Question. So like, this is why I just don't like these. I don't like these kind of fake compliments. Like, I would just get right to it. Hey Christian, question. How often do U.S. partnership opportunities go to less qualified but more visible competitors on LinkedIn? I'm not too like a massive fan of that either because it's just a little bit too pushy. So I'm gonna keep going here. Let's see. We help international founders establish authority in the American market. Okay, just helped an Indian-based startup or Indian-based founder target 10 to 50,000 US dollar deals. Go from 0 speaking invitations to 5 industry panels by establishing their LinkedIn thought leadership. Okay, now that is interesting to someone. If someone is kind of like trying to transition to the US market, which they might be able or which they might be doing, like you're positioning yourself so well. So this is what I mean when I talk about personalization. It's not saying hey name, it's not saying hey company, it's not giving a relevant compliment. It's giving relevant messaging. What is their current problem and how do you solve that? How do you make them know that you feel that pain for them and that you have the right solution? And then you get into it. Like I said, this DM template just isn't my favorite and it's something that didn't kind of work. But you're seeing how you can use this. And then from there, we're going to be adding this to a quick Google Doc. I can't talk right now. And then we're going to create 2 more kind of follow-ups. These follow-ups should be incredibly simple. I don't like to do anything fancy. Now, you can do fancy things as well. But when I say simple, I mean one of 2 things. You either add value by sending them potentially a case study, a video of you showing exactly how you help someone in your niche, a video or maybe a post that went over the exact strategy that you could implement for them. You can send them free stuff that is like an intro kind of to your service. And then that's like your value side of things. And the second thing that you can do, and what I usually do, is be right up front. Like, hey, not to bother, but like, did you see my last message? And most of the time, like people are like, they either don't care that you sent them that and they won't respond, or they're gonna be like, oh, okay, he's kind of playing it off cool. Like he's not trying to bother me, but he does have something like interested that I should probably go and look at. So then it gets them to respond. And then like that third message is, hey, not to bother, basically once again, like you're saying that. I know you're like super busy. I won't bother you again. Hope your business is going well. Kind of like send them a message by saying like you're going to leave them alone now. And then that can also just re-engage people because they respect that you're doing that. Or maybe it just re-engages them because they were out of town. They were at their kid's birthday party. Like who knows where they're at? Like you just need to be sending follow-ups. So I'm not going to like get too in depth into it because it really should be a simple process. That most people aren't sending follow-ups in the first place. So this is going to position you way ahead of them. And you're targeting within the messaging in the first message is going to set you ahead of anyone else that is sending, hey name, saw company name, post this post recently, and saw your friends of Alex Hermosi. Curious, are you in the market for SDRs? Like, that's the most obvious, horrible pitch. You're positioning yourself terribly. You're not providing any value to them, and you're foreshadowing nothing. That is just awful. So we want to get away from that. So to continue kind of on the path of what do we do for our client? We implemented this for him. He started sending connection requests. Those connection requests were getting accepted at super high rate. He said the other day that he's almost at 20% now, I believe, connection requests. That's awesome. Like really, really good. And then got replies on his outreach that he was sending to the connections that accepted. Once he got positive replies, he immediately sent them either his calendar link or gave them 1 to 2 times. So an example of this, of the 1 to 2 times message that you would send to them after you get a positive reply is awesome or great. Does Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern time or Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern time work for a call? Question mark. Boom. They're like, yep, Friday works for us. They send your email. If they don't send your email, grab their email, send them a calendar invite. Now, I like to do it this way more so than just sending them a calendar link to book in a call because it removes so much more friction. They don't actually have to go through any of your questions. Now, if you're trying to qualify people, probably should have done that earlier, or you can still qualify them on call or by sending them a form previously. I have a nice setup where I send my clients that book calls or my prospect that book calls, I send them a kind of confirmation page, and on those it like explains pricing a little bit, like what the range of pricing is, kind of how we get results, what results you can expect. And just recently, a client or a prospect that had booked a call disqualified themselves because they knew that they weren't in the market for that pricing. Awesome, that's exactly what it should do, and we didn't have to send them some crappy form that restricted them, that they only had 2 minutes to fill out, that they didn't want to do because they wanted to go eat dinner with their family. Like, just get the call booked and then focus on that later. Obviously, people are going to have different opinions, but that's my opinion on that. And that's what's been working for our clients. And it has led to, I believe, over $4,000 in revenue for our client that has booked calls in the past. He hasn't taken these 5 calls yet, actually, because he's still in college, actually, surprisingly. But he's already made over $4,000. I think he signed 2 clients. So he's on maybe the little bit lower ticket range. But this exact process has signed one of my clients multiple $10,000 deals. She's booking like 30 calls and literally signs 4 to 5 of those clients every single month. So she's making like $40,000 to $50,000 every single month just from LinkedIn. But anyways, this is the strategy. I hope this was helpful. Like I said before, if you have any questions, go down below and comment, or you can book in a call with us if you're interested in either doing it with us or having it completely done for you. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.